Hi loves, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Tyla and today is episode 29 of the journal session series. This is an interactive series where we journal together and I offer you time and space to write out your answers. So make sure that you have a journal and pen at hand. These prompts are all about self-love. So if you're interested, let's get into it. So question number 1, what boundaries do you need to set for yourself? So I want to start by saying that my perspective of self-love has changed so much over the years because I thought back then that I did love myself, but I didn't truly understand what it meant to love yourself. I would say that I love myself, but at the same time, I would allow people to treat me in a negative way. I wouldn't set healthy boundaries. I would neglect my emotional needs, and I didn't take great care of myself. So honestly, at that point, it was only a reflection of my wounds and trauma, because there was a part of me that didn't believe I was worthy of being loved. You honor yourself when you do start to set healthy boundaries and standards, and it's also a reflection of how much you love and respect yourself. That also comes down to seeing your worth, because if you have an obscured view of who you are, you won't treat yourself in a way that shows you have value. So it's really important to heal your trauma and any ideas or beliefs that you have about who you are and what you deserve. Setting healthy boundaries is also a major way to increase self-love, because once you learn to set healthy boundaries, you won't put up with things you know you don't deserve, your morals will increase, and it'll also reflect in the way you show up for yourself as well. So some examples of healthy boundaries are communicating often, especially in situations which you feel unheard or taken advantage of, setting emotional boundaries so that you're separating your feelings from another's feelings and respecting your emotional needs and limits as well as others, remaining clear, concise, and unapologetic when advocating for yourself, setting priorities, listening to your thoughts and emotions, and recognizing your limits. So question number 2, what's standing in the way of you feeling happier and what can you do to change that? So on my path to healing and just coming more into self-love, this was something that really helped me a lot, was to identify the things that I wasn't happy with about myself and finding ways to change those things. It's really easy to get stuck in dwelling on the things that you don't like and just complaining rather than actually doing something about it. So if there's anything that you currently dislike about yourself, find ways that you can start switching up those things, whether it's something that's mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. I started with my mental health first because that was the main thing that was stopping me from doing a lot of the things that I wanted to do, because I wasn't in a good mindset. So once I started overcoming my fears and doubts, insecurities, then I started to heal and I started finding new ways to enhance other aspects of my life. So I started incorporating routines that helped me to take better care of my mental health, my physical health, my spiritual health, and just my overall wellness. Once you actually start taking care of the things that you don't like about yourself and doing something to improve every aspect of your life, you feel a lot better about yourself. And when you feel good and you look good, you really show up in a way that reflects that. So you'll start to work better, you'll start to go out in the world more confidently, and that'll really help to increase your happiness and self-esteem. Now for this next one, write a love letter to yourself. This is definitely one of my favorite entries for this session because it's so important to speak positive things about yourself. We often get caught up in being hard on ourselves and speaking negative things about ourselves, beating ourselves up. But the thing is, when you speak certain things about yourself, you're always listening subconsciously. So you have to be very careful about the way that you even joke about yourself. And it's really nice to just take time out to write about all of the things that you love about yourself, to really show gratitude for who you are and the things that make you unique, the things that make you special, and pouring love into yourself in this way. And I always say that when it comes to self-love, treat yourself how you would treat somebody that you love. So how would you treat them? How would you speak to them? What would you do for them? And identifying the things that make you happy or that you love about yourself and that makes you unique and your strengths will really help to amplify those things and maximize that, because whatever you put your energy into multiplies. So if you're constantly focusing on the negative things about yourself and you're not doing anything to change those things, you're going to get stuck in a continuous loop of self-hating and just degrading yourself, as opposed to if you identify the things that you are changing and then focusing on the things that you do like and working to build those qualities. So make sure that you really go all in with this prompt and that you really show love to yourself, especially if you're somebody that is not used to doing that, or if you're used to just talking negatively about yourself. A major thing that can lead to not loving yourself is definitely experiences with other people. So if you've experienced a lot of judgment from others, it can be difficult to not allow those experiences or the harmful words that may have been said to you to dictate how you feel about yourself. But it's important to remember that you're in control of the perception that you have about yourself despite those experiences. Most of us at some point in life experience wanting validation, especially when it comes to the people that we care about the most. But the opinion that you have about yourself is the most important, so never measure your worth by what others think of you. Because of the fact that most people crave validation, they don't express themselves authentically or accept themselves for who they truly are. It's going to be really hard and almost impossible to really love yourself if you're too busy trying to be somebody else. Comparison really is the thief of joy, and if you're constantly comparing yourself to others, you're dimming your own light by putting them on a pedestal. Self-love isn't something that you can always cultivate overnight, especially if you have deep-rooted trauma, so you have to really be patient and kind to yourself at every phase of your journey. So even if you're not the version of yourself that you want to be just yet, it's important to love yourself at every phase because it all serves a very valuable purpose. So enjoy the process of loving yourself as you grow. Last but not least, write down 5 positive things that you can say to yourself when negative self-talk starts to creep in. I definitely wanted to add this one for our last journal entry because this is something that I started implementing in my day-to-day routine. I used to speak very negatively about myself. I would make a lot of bad jokes about myself. Whenever I would mess up with something, I would say something in my head or out loud. So I've really been practicing for a pretty long time, reversing every negative thought or thing that I say about myself. So if I would mess up on something and I would get upset at myself and start beating myself up, I would immediately stop in my tracks, acknowledge that I am speaking something negative, and then speak something positive instead. This is a really good way to trick your brain and your subconscious into believing those positive thoughts, so you can reverse everything that has been embedded into your subconscious that was negative. That's why I also started getting into affirmations, because they work like a charm, to be completely honest, especially when you do them first thing in the morning or at night. So adding affirmations to your day-to-day routine can really help shift your perspective of yourself and help you to love yourself more and increase your self-confidence and esteem. Also, in those moments when you do say something negative and you switch it for something positive, you feel really good about yourself. It helps you to feel a lot better about the situation, and there's no sense in speaking negative to yourself or beating yourself up about something. When you start to fully love yourself, there's not a lot of things that can truly get to you because you're standing in your power. You'll want to do better for yourself, and it'll become easier to stay disciplined to your goals and continuously strive for the things that you want because of the fact that you have that strong belief in yourself. Another beautiful thing about loving yourself is that once you do start to fully come into that self-love, everything around you enhances and you start to see the beauty in others as well. So it not only will enhance your connections and relationships, but it'll even enhance your experiences, because now that you know what it means to fully love yourself and you know what it is that you truly deserve, you'll be able to experience things that are on that higher vibration. So that is all for this journal session. I do hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I do these sessions every Friday, so subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace and much love.